We are in week 6 of Anxiety and Anxious Brain. And so we've been doing really, really well as far as this class is concerned, and making sure that we learn about where anxiety comes from, how it affects our body physically and mentally. We've talked about that. We talked about our triggers. We talked a little bit about some coping skills along the way. And so tonight we're going to talk about some more coping skills because, like I mentioned in the very beginning, what we want to do in week 8 is be able to build our own anxiety toolkit, right? Our coping strategies toolkit. So I want to make sure we get as much information about it so we can do that. So if you're in here, and I'll say this again, so don't be irritated with me. You said, did you send me a worksheet one time in an email? Miss Nia, yeah, I did actually. I did. And I can go, we only have 7 people. Let me check. I definitely did it. I know that I did it. So let me go to sent. And I don't remember what day that was, but I know what I sent. Hold on, I think I'm in my wrong email. So that I don't hold everybody up, I will double check it. I'll double check it when we get off this live. And you can DM me again, but you DM me your email address, so I took it from there. So it should have sent, and it would have come from Candace at Your Way Out LLC. But I'll take a look again after we finish. Okay. Yeah, it was a worksheet. It was like an assessment, a self-assessment. I want to say that might have been week 3 or 4, Lockleisha. But I can, if you want it, just DM me your email address and I'll send it to you. I also have something I'm sending tonight. I'll announce that toward the end of class. All right. So if you're in here, one thing that I am learning. Yeah, well, Lockleisha, if you didn't send me your email address, you won't have it. But I'll send it out if you give it to me. One thing I'm learning about going live is we have to have that engagement. So if you all could please tap that screen while we're talking, if you can communicate or chat in the chat right there, that would be greatly appreciated. So it won't interrupt anything. And because I don't know how to do all of that. I just wanted to come on here and teach a little something, but I want to make sure that we are showing the engagement and the likes and all that good stuff. So tonight, like I said, you'll see me looking down because I do keep my notes, and I might look off to the side so I can read a little clearer any messages that you have. I'm trying to make sure I can see it here. But tonight we're going to talk about thriving in this age of social media while dealing with some anxiety. So we're going to go over some of the coping skills that will help you all and that you can put in your toolkit. Okay. So Nia, you have the worksheet? You said it helped you a lot, but you couldn't find my name after that. Okay. Well, listen, let me know if you have it or not. If you do, then cool. But if not, I'll send it again. Oh, okay. I'm glad it helped you. I'm glad because I got something else for you. But let's just talk for a minute. So we know that life can be really, really, really loud, right? It's really loud between the constant notifications, the endless scrolling, the pressures of work, life, family. You know, it seems like we're always on. Was it clips? Too much anxiety content make anxiety worse? It depends on the person, Clips. But I know in this course, we're talking about, you know, what anxiety is, how it affects you, and then the skills, the tools, the techniques you can use to manage it. Okay. So in your case, if you think that too much content can make it worse, then you want to be mindful of that and set up some boundaries. And I'll talk about that too. You have to be mindful of what your experience is and how it affects you. And if it's too much for you, then pull back by all means. You know, you got to take care of yourself. All right. So today we're going to focus on, get to my notes. We're going to focus on protecting your peace, identifying those coping skills that will definitely help you to come out of the chaos for a minute, minimize that anxiety, and tame Amy, our amygdala, right? Because when Amy is on, we ready to roll. It's fight or flight. So we got to learn how to do that. And I wanted to start with anxiety and social media. So question, do you all feel like, and so kind of like what you were saying, Clips, do you feel like social media equals anxiety fuel? Anybody, you could say yes, you could thumbs up in the chat. Do you feel like social media equals anxiety fuel? Because some of the research has shown that high social media use, people saying yes, absolutely. High social media use does increase, or it has a link to increased anxiety, depression, and even self-esteem. Yeah, absolutely, y'all. We get into this thing considered or called a comparison trap. We get in that comparison trap. And what that is basically, you know what comparison is. You're looking at these people's highlight reels, right? And you're comparing it to your behind the scenes. They don't look the same. They're giving you this finished product, and you're comparing that finished product to your behind the scenes. And our behind the scenes can be very, very messy. Think about it like this. You can show up to a wedding, right? You're a guest at a wedding. You get there and everything is so beautiful. The flowers are beautiful. The music sounds nice. The bride is beautiful. The groom is beautiful. All it is. All at the same time, the bride is over there like, those are not the flowers I ordered. Why are they sitting over there? And da-da-da-da. She might have been what they call a bridezilla. All this other stuff is going on. Behind the scenes, thank you. Behind the scenes, all this stuff is going on. But you're looking at the highlight. So that's what we do in this comparison trap when it comes to social media. So you try to watch the things that make you laugh and smile. Exactly. Especially when you're having a hard date. For me, my thing is babies laughing. It don't matter who baby it is. When I hear a baby's laughter, it is so fresh. It's so sweet, you know, and it really calms me down for some reason. A child's laughter. Because they get so tickled. Especially, I'm talking about the minis. They don't talk. They little, like months. And they laugh and they hold their breath when they're laughing. And it's like they know what you're talking about, but they don't know what you're talking about. But they are just cracking up. I love that stuff. That is so funny to me. And it really will take me out of whatever mess I was in mentally, whatever I was dealing with. And Jayla said, not at 5 a.m. Well, I don't know. It just is. I like it. If I'm already angry and I run across a baby laughing, I'm going to stop and watch that video. That's going to tickle me. But the things that about social media that can increase our anxiety, depression, and self-esteem, the comparison trap. Because remember, you're looking at somebody's highlight reel. You're not looking at the behind the scenes, but you're comparing that highlight to your behind the scenes. Another one is the doom scrolling. If you're constantly consuming negativity, bad news, that doom scrolling, baby, your brain is steadily in fight or flight. Hey, Styling. You're going to stay in fright or flight if you're constantly doom scrolling. So try to not consume too much of that negative news feed or people, because everybody has an opinion, right? So people who are expressing their opinion about politics and all of this stuff, you might want to pull back from some of that, okay? Because that right there will keep you in fight or flight. Also, FOMO, that fear of missing out. You seeing everybody have fun. They going to all these trips. Everybody got a girls group and all of them are taking these girls trips and you can't gather up 2 people to go to Cheesecake Factory. Now you comparing and you looking at all the fun that they're having. This might trigger some social anxiety or maybe even some insecurities that you might have. So be mindful of that when it comes to that social media. Now let's talk briefly about what social media does to our brain. One, it increases the dopamine, that instant pleasure high, that hit of pleasure we get. That's what it does. But then it drops and it causes that craving, that restlessness. So let's say you put up a video, it does well, you get a lot of likes, you get a lot of comments, a lot of views and all, so you feeling good. But then your next video doesn't do so well, and now what? So be mindful of that. It also, again, activates our amygdala. Hey, Monica. It activates our amygdala, making us feel like we're always missing out or we're not enough or fight flight. We want to be mindful of that. And it also reduces your attention span and your ability to deep focus. So set up some boundaries when it comes to social media. Let me move this over here. Set up some boundaries. And if anyone has set up boundaries previously when it comes to your social media, please share that with us in the chat. Let's talk about it a minute before I keep moving forward. Share that in the chat. I'm gonna drink me a little bit of tea as y'all get your fingers ready. Hey, Turtle Bud. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you all. Is that Sophie? Hi, Sophie. Y'all gonna chat? Tell me what you do to create some boundaries when it comes to social media. Okay, well, I'll go into it a little bit. Oh, what kind of boundaries have you set up to help manage the social media and anxiety? You log off. Okay, that's what's up. You put a timer. Yes. Yeah, the algorithm will change eventually. And stay off of it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And all of those are perfect. You pretty much taught the class because that's what I was talking about next. It's creating those digital boundaries, like setting your app limits, like if you can do that on your phone, or putting that phone on do not disturb, or at least on focus mode when you're working or doing something, and then unfollow or mute certain accounts when they make you feel worse or when you're feeling uninspired. So you might want to look at doing that. And then some mindful scrolling. As you're scrolling and you find yourself just continuing to scroll, you might want to ask, is this helping or harming me? Oh yeah, we have to scroll past those politics videos. So suppose you do know social media but watch TV, put a limit on that as well. You want to put a limit on that. Give yourself a certain amount of time. Like for me, I might watch news 30 minutes a day, maybe. I may do that because I don't want to be ignorant to what's going on, but I don't want to be consumed by it either. So you set your own time limit and know when to watch certain things. So at night, before I go to bed, I may not watch any news before I go to bed because it may be too negative, and I don't want to fall asleep with that on me. So somebody else said they read the headlines, not the story. Good. So ask yourself as you're scrolling through, is this helping me or harming me? Also schedule what I was just saying, a scroll free zone, like that hour before going to bed. Maybe don't scroll. Maybe put that phone down. Replace that scrolling with something that's more calming, like listening to music, having you a nice little cup of tea, taking a walk, read a book, like do something different. Hey, Chrissy, well, welcome in. Yeah, Angie, I get bits too. I get bits and pieces. Oh, you starting to meditate? And let me show y'all. Well, maybe we'll do it because we're unconventional here. So give me 1 second. I'm going to show you something that I do in the evening. So I'll take one of my singing bowls. And this is not every evening. And I'm going to play this real quick for you while we go through our lesson. See if I can hold it. So this is not every evening, but every now and then I need to just kind of reset. So it could be throughout my day when I've had a lot of clients and I just need to kind of ground myself. I'll get one of my singing bowls. I'll play it for a few minutes. If I want to do this before I go to bed, I might come in here and do it, but just listen. Tell me what y'all think. Y'all hear that? I'm gonna stop it. So So you love that. Okay, good. I hope notice where you might have felt that in your body too. If you can mention that in the chat where you might have felt that. But I will do that and I'll tell you where you should have. But I'll do that sometimes to kind of lock in, to ground myself, and just to soothe out my nervous system, right? Because sometimes we need to find something other than scrolling. That just, it sends us, y'all, and it activates that amygdala. Instant relaxation, it's very calming. Now that tone is a low tone. It's very sacral and root chakra oriented, so it's good for grounding. Okay, King Sparks, I see your comment. And to be respectful, not everybody believes the same thing, and I don't want to disrespect anybody. So whatever they find comfort in, if it's church, if it's Jesus, if it's Buddha, whatever your thing is, you find comfort in that. That's all I want to say about that. So that was what we're talking about, the scrolling and the digital boundaries. All right. Now we've talked about going ahead and giving you all these techniques because week 8 is where I want you to have your toolkit ready, your anxiety coping skills toolkit. So I have to give you some more tools because we've talked about what it is, how it affects you, where it comes from. We talked about all of that. Now let's get to the good stuff, the tools. Throughout the classes, though, we've talked about certain techniques and we've practiced a couple on the live. So you should have those written down. But I want to give you a few more, all right? We talked about breathing. We practiced 4-7-8. So you know that one. But we know the breath is our remote control to our nervous system. That when we take our deep breaths, we're activating that parasympathetic nervous system. You know, the autonomic, I'm going to say it again for those who may not have been here in class, but we have the autonomic nervous system, which is the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic keeps us in fight or flight, right? It's active, very active. And then the parasympathetic helps us to calm down. That's our rest and digest mode. So when we take these deep breaths and we practice this, it activates our parasympathetic nervous system. It pushes our chill out button. Thank you for the rose, sophistication or sophisticated. Thank you. And you all continue to like the live, share the live, send the gifts, do whatever you want to do so we can show this engagement, and TikTok and try to, silence me like it has before. Also, that's how the breath works. Okay, I just wanted to share that. So we did 4-7-8 before. We did it on live. Hey, Alyssa. But there's another one I just posted the other day about it, the box breathing. This one has been used by Navy SEALs. But in this box breathing, if you haven't seen the video, just go on my page and look at it and you can practice it. But we're going to talk about it here. Think of a box, right? And we're going to inhale for 4, then you hold for 4, then you exhale for 4, then you hold for 4. All right, that's how you practice that. And you do it maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Well, I'm glad you needed it and it was here for you, girl. So let's try it. Y'all want to try this with me? Give me some yeses. Put some yeses in the chat if you want to try the box breathing. Okay, cool. So let's do our box breathing. Sit or lie if you're lying down comfortably. Take some regular breaths. Exhale. And I won't necessarily do it with you. I'll try to do it with you, but I'll do the counting. Okay? So let's get ready. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe normally. How was that? Let me know in the chat. We didn't do the whole 1 to 2 minutes, but I just wanted you to try it. Tell me how was that for you. And be honest. Because some people like, hold on now, that holding part, that was kind of getting to me. I felt like I didn't take a whole breath. You getting it? It does feel different. It does feel different. That's different than some of our other breathing where we exhale a little bit longer. We inhale a little shorter. Sorry, y'all, this hair, but it's a good practice. Like I said, do it for like 1 to 2 minutes. Notice how you feel after you do it. But this is a very good one for relaxing that your body and activating your parasympathetic. Well, Mitra, I'm so glad that we found each other. You found me. A quick release? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nia. So I want you to keep practicing this. So if you're writing your notes, write down box breathing. That is one of the breathing techniques for anxiety relief. And this goes in your anxiety toolbox. All right. So what you would normally do is like 3 rounds of this, 1 to 2 minutes, but do like 3 rounds. And then notice how you feel. The other one, we talked about it before and we've done it before, 4, 7, 8. I'll just explain it so you can write this down if you're just getting here. 4, 7, 8. You inhale for 4, you hold for 7, you exhale for 8. Okay? This is really, really good for calming your nervous system, and also is really good to do right before bed because it helps with your sleeping. I do this one before bed all the time. I just lay there and do it just a few times. But this one is really good. What you might notice though, when you start deep breathing, you may not even be tired before you start the exercise, and then all of a sudden you start yawning. That means it's working, baby. You just hit that rest and reset button for yourself. So y'all keep on tapping the screen and commenting in the chat so that it can know that we are engaging, please. Because I don't know. I guess that's new rules for this or something. Another breathing. When we talk about belly breathing, thank you all. I see the hearts. When we talk about belly breathing, I want you all to do this with me too. You're going to put one hand on your diaphragm or on your belly. You can put one on your chest too if you'd like. But we're not trying so much to raise the chest, because sometimes that act of doing this, you think you're breathing, but that's not helping you breathe. You want to get the breath in and you want to go to your diaphragm. All right. So you can put one here, or you could just put it on your belly. When you inhale deeply, your belly should rise. You should feel your hand rise because your belly is rising. And then when you exhale, focus on the longer exhales. And then as you exhale, your hand should go back down. Your belly should go down. All right. The longer exhales helps to calm your brain, and it does reduce the anxiety pretty fast. So let's try some belly breathing. You ready? So we're going to inhale, exhale. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale, exhale. On that exhale, release everything. Let your shoulders go. Let your belly go back down. Release everything. Unclench your jaws. You ready? I'm going to do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure that exhale is long and steady. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Tell me how that feels. Type in the chat. Tell me how that feels. Again, we are activating our parasympathetic nervous system. We're pressing that rest and reset button so that we can ground ourselves and we can ease any tension, any anxiety that we might be feeling. You always have the breath with you. So wherever you go, wherever anxiety shows up, you can go. I'm glad you liked it. Good. You can go right to the breath. It's always available to you. You don't have to worry about looking weird or somebody noticing. They breathing too. Don't worry about that. Take your breath, pause, press pause, take your breath, reset, calm yourself. Because a lot of times we get in our heads, we're feeling anxious, and then we get in our heads about what other people are thinking or how they're looking at us. Let that not be of your concern. Your concern is you. As you may have heard, I'm glad that felt good. As you may have heard me say before, you are your priority. Not what somebody thinks about you. Not if they're looking. Now, I'm not saying, you could be in the middle of working with a patient or a client or whatever you do, and you just hold on. Now, think about what you're doing. You at work. But you can still take a minute and hold. You can do that, and you don't have to say it out loud. They don't have to know how you're breathing. Oh, yes. Right before a blood pressure check? Yes. Because oftentimes, you go into the doctor's office, you might, if you're running late, or just the idea of going to the doctor's office, it may raise your blood pressure anyway, just because you've been, you're moving, you're rushing. So you need to take some time and calm it down so they don't fool around and try to diagnose you with high blood pressure. And that's not even the issue. You know what I mean? Okay. So those were some breathing techniques that you can put in your toolbox. So recap, we got belly breathing, we have 4-7-8, and we have box breathing. So make sure you put those in your notes. Now, some more grounding exercises. These are going to go under another category, your grounding exercises. Hey. And be exactly. Who was that? D'Artagnan? Exactly. So some grounding exercises. We talked about one in particular, this 5 senses. Hey, come on, Lisa, star pupil. We talked about the 5 senses, yes. But we want to practice these grounding exercises to help bring us back to the present moment. Because when we are experiencing, I'm sorry, I can't get comfortable in my chair today. When we're experiencing anxiety, we're very future oriented. We're in the future. Thank you, MJ. Or we might be concerned about something that's already happened that we can't go back and change. But it robs us of our present moment. So we have to learn how to come back to the moment and just be here, be present. So grounding exercises help us with that. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the 5 senses. And just as a reminder for some and for those who weren't here before, 5 things you can see. 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 that you can smell, and 1 that you can taste. So you take a moment and try to do that. Whatever situation you're in and you're noticing some anxiety rising up, bring yourself back to the present. You want to be here now. Not over there. You can't do nothing about over there. Be here now. Okay? We won't practice this one because we've practiced this before. Well, in the chat, we've practiced it. So we don't have to, unless y'all say otherwise, we don't necessarily have to practice that one. One that I mentioned last week, but I do want you to keep writing these down. These are your notes. We practiced last week, or we didn't practice, but we talked about it last week. The cold water reset. All right? So with the cold water reset, that's an instant shock your body back to the present. So with that, you can either splash cold water on your face. You can hold a cube of ice. All of this will help to shock you in the present. Shock that body back to the present. That's something you can go to, especially, I would say, in the morning. You have a job interview or whatever it is. And if your anxiety is in the morning when you wake up and you're trying to get yourself to be present and in the moment, maybe splash yourself with some cold water, really cold water. Okay? Shock yourself, your nervous system back to the present. I know that's a little bit more difficult to do if you're at work as far as the splashing part, but you can always go get you a cup of water and put that ice in your hand, right? So that's another one. And then name it. Name it and tame it. Recognize what emotion you're experiencing, right? Don't just ride with it. Let's name that thing. Call a thing a thing. Say to yourself, okay, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling anxious, and you can fill in the blank about what if you'd like to, but just labeling your emotions helps to activate your prefrontal cortex, and it helps to calm the amygdala. Because when we get that PFC engaged, now we can critically think about some things. We can evaluate some situations. We can see if it's really worth it. So we can name it, I'm feeling anxious. Okay, Candace, why are you feeling anxious? About what? Then I can answer myself. Okay. And then I can ask myself, well, what are you telling yourself about this thing? Then I'm now examining my thoughts. Because we talked about CBT, right? Our thoughts dictate our emotions, and our emotions dictate our behavior. So if I can just pause for a minute and ask myself, what am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling anxious. About what? Okay, now name that. And then I say, well, what am I telling myself about it? And then I can put that thought on trial. Clips. So you said, what if you have health anxiety? Everything you feel on your body bothers you. You can still use all of these coping skills to manage that anxiety, because what we want to do is activate our prefrontal cortex so you can start thinking critically about what's going on. You can start, okay, I'm glad you've been reframing them thoughts, Lakeisha. But yeah, you can start thinking more critically, Clips, about what's really going on with you. You can do other things that help to calm the body as well, and I'll get to a couple of those. But anxiety, there are many different types, yes, and we talked about that. But these coping skills can help with just about all of them. So with the health anxiety, and that can be a cycle, right? You already have this anxiety, then you have an issue with health, which creates more anxiety. And then because you have this issue with health, you're always anxious that something else is going to happen to cause you to be even more anxious. It's a vicious cycle. First, we got to monitor that stress. We got to name what I'm anxious about. We got to critically look at it and reframe the thought. Just because just because my hip hurts doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to have replacement. Because sometimes we are so black and white in our thinking. We talked about those cognitive distortions. So you want to reel it back a little bit. Still do the exercises. Evaluate what you're thinking. Ask yourself, is this 100% true? Okay? Because a lot of times it's not. And you can notice any cognitive distortions when you do that, any thinking traps. But still do the things you need to do to calm your anxiety. All right? I hope that helped a little bit for you. So we talked about naming the anxiety. So beyond some of the basics, and I think I talked about this. I know I did. We talked about this and we practiced it on live. The progressive muscle relaxation, PMR. Some of you might be familiar with this.
Tomorrow,
I do this every
there will
time,
be
don't
partly
I?
sunny weather. With a
Oh, it helped you when you were taking your notes?
in the low of 50 degrees.
Good. Who's that? Nia. So progressive muscle relaxation, PMR. When we do this, we are systemically tensing and relaxing different muscle groups, right? It helps us to identify and release any physical tensions we're having, and it helps to promote the calm. Thank you for sharing the live, Nikki. So what you want to do with the PMR, progressive muscle relaxation, write it down in your notes. You want to start at your feet. You tense the muscles for about 5 seconds, and then you release. You move on up the body to your legs. Then you do your stomach, your hands, your arms, your shoulders, your face. But you're going to focus on the difference between the tension and the relaxation. So this works because it releases any stored tension in the body. It calms our nervous system, and it signals to the brain that you're safe. A lot of times we wind up holding tension and we don't even realize it. You ever just all of a sudden like, dang, let me drop my shoulders. You've been sitting up here like this the whole time and didn't even realize it. But when you do that PMR, you notice that you're holding tension somewhere, and you just gotta relax it. Start noticing. This exercise helps you to notice when you're holding on to tension versus when you're relaxed. So you intentionally put the tension in that muscle group, and then you let it go. Okay? Because that let go part feels so much better. And you're like, well, dang, I didn't know I was doing that. Right? So progressive muscle relaxation. Another one that some of you probably have heard of before is visualization or guided imagery. Let me tell you, I love me a good guided imagery or visualization. I'll go right to YouTube, pull up something. Now, I won't lie to you. The voice it has to be calming, because some of those voices kind of like, it's like nails on a chalkboard. It doesn't help. But if I find the right voice, a good guided imagery is perfect for me. And I love to take myself to the beach or to Jamaica. I love to, if I'm sitting here and doing it myself and not necessarily listening, I will take myself to the beach in a minute. I'll be in Jamaica. I might have me a drink with an umbrella in it or something. I don't know. But I'm chilling. Or I like to at least sit on the beach in my mind, right? I like to sit on the beach and just watch the waves. And so whether I'm listening to a guided imagery or not, I might just listen to ocean, sounds. And I would just sit there and listen and just be there. Every time the wave come in, I'm thinking I'm being refreshed. Every time it goes out, it's taking away my worries and my stress, right? And so I do that practice to let go of all those things. Thank you, Leisha. To let go of all these things that have been stored up that I've been holding so tightly to. But this is a really good one. So mentally, you're imagining a peaceful and a safe place, right? To help your mind. Just whatever is peaceful and safe to you. It could be a nice fluffy bed or a fluffy place to sit, or it can be somewhere. Angie, Alexa asked you, would you like to start? I do that on my Alexa. I have that little mindful minute or whatever it's called, and I sit here and let her talk me through it. You should do it if you haven't. But that's what you do. Visualize your peaceful and safe place. Close your eyes, picture it, engage all your senses. This is key. You want to pay attention to what you see in this place, what you hear. Imagine what it smells like. Imagine what it feels like as far as temperature. Do you feel the sun glowing on your skin? Do you feel a breeze? Like, imagine all of that. Put yourself in that place. Because the way that it works is your brain reacts to the imagined experience, just like it reacts to the imagined threat when anxiety comes along, when amygdala goes off, right? It's reacting to an imagined threat sometimes. So it does the same thing when we imagine something that is peaceful and calming. Okay? You said you on the beach? I know that's right. I love me a good beach now. And some people imagining being in the woods. I've done one where I had to imagine myself in the woods. And I mean, it was cool a little bit, but I ain't one for one to be in the woods personally. That ain't me. Because see, I can't really relax because I don't know what else out there. And I know it's my imagination. I can be out there what I want to be out there, but still, it's tough. Because you said meditation is so hard. Start in small increments. Oh, cozy cabin. Yeah. Library. Yeah, girl. I don't know what else is out there, Angie, in the woods. So, we don't play with that. But anyway, clips, yeah, just start small. Do like 5 minutes. And remember, spiders, my fear. Remember, meditation does not mean you're emptying your mind of thoughts. You're not. It's hard to do that. And I know I probably mentioned this before. It's not about that, but it's about noticing your thoughts and not engaging in them. All right? You just notice that you're thinking about that. And you anchor yourself to the breath. So that's why the deep breathing is so important. And knowing how to do that is so important. Just work on your breathing. Stay with the breath. The thought will come up. And then you say, okay, yeah, I thought that. But go back to your breathing. Okay? Like I mentioned before, I might start meditating and think, oh, shoot, I didn't take anything out to cook. Now, if I don't stay with my breath and stay focused, I'm going to go, okay, so when I finish this, I'm going to run on up to Kroger. And then I'm going to run with the thought versus just noticing I thought it. You can just notice you thought the thing, and then you can get back to the breath. Okay? But start small. Don't, set this goal for, I'm going to sit down and do an hour meditation. No, come on, who you playing with? Stop fooling yourself. Don't set yourself up for failure. Do small increments and build on that. I've not heard that, Tanya, lymphatic drainage helping with anxiety. I've not heard that. That's not to say it doesn't, but I haven't heard that. So I don't want to answer, and say, yeah, when I don't know, I have to look at that. Another one, let's move on to our next one because what time is it? Okay, another one is journaling. And we've talked about this before too, doing a brain dump or even doing a gratitude journal, right? So writing those things down that you might be anxious about. You're welcome. Processing them, hopefully shifting your focus and making it more positive. So you can do a brain dump. That's about 5 to 10 minutes. You set your timer, do 5 to 10 minutes, write down everything that's on your mind. No filter. Nobody's looking at this. Nobody can judge you. Write whatever comes up. Like they say, whatever comes up, come out on that journal when you're doing your brain dump. Okay? That's what that one is. So that's kind of like downloading, getting some of this stuff off of you. Then a gratitude journal is just what it is. You know, write about 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for daily. And if you don't do it in a journal, you can do it on your notes, on your phone. We have them phones with us all the time. Just take a moment to just express some gratitude. Find something, because what that teaches you is to focus on the positive. It's so much negative. We have to push ourselves to focus on the positive, right? All right. Anybody use any of these before I go on to my next? Let me see if I missed anybody. There you go. Thank you all. Keep liking the live, honey, because you know this thing here want to go out. I'm going to hit it on my side too. All right. So now we're going to move to writing them down for later. Okay. Good. Just write them all down. So some movement-based coping. Nia, you said I said something about the nervous system. Yeah, where was I? Girl? I talked about the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and how deep breathing activates our parasympathetic. That's our rest and digest mode. It helps us to calm down. Okay. I hope that's what you were referring to. Okay. All right. So our movement-based coping, we're talking about dancing, walking, stretching. We talked a little bit a couple of weeks ago about this, but you want to do some physical movement because it helps to discharge some of that anxious energy. It helps us to rebalance and rebalance our brain chemicals. Okay. So what you can do is go for a brisk walk. You know, walks in nature is what they put on here. Like I told you, I ain't want to go out there in the nature, but I know it'll help. Somebody said one week, just stay on the path. Okay. I'll try that. But doing 10 minutes of stretching yoga, that'll help. And that's so easy because you could just go on YouTube and find your 10-minute, 15-minute video. You could do that. Definitely put on some music and dance it out. She said you can listen to it, but you don't have to go out. I know. But going outside is so good for us. We really need to get out there and get in the sun. Because that helps to recharge us. So we need that. But as far as being in the woods, yeah, I'm with y'all. Yoga, it helps a lot. Okay, MJ, thank you for getting this information. You all take that down. So why does the movement help? Because it helps to lower the cortisol. We talked about that stress hormone. And it boosts our endorphins and dopamine. And as well as the serotonin. All of these are the calming chemicals within our brain. So we want to do that. Okay. She said she a country girl. And I am too. But I don't have to be out there like that, Leisha. I'm going to have my boots on the ground and stuff like that. But I don't have to be out there too long. I'm going to try to do better maybe this year. Who knows? Another one, aromatherapy. Taking notes, write down aromatherapy. So using scents like essential oils or teas also help to calm and promote focus. So, of course, the common ones are lavender, chamomile, bergamot, lemon balm. Peppermint helps you focus, but that can also be one that you use because anxiety, again, keeps you off your focus. So if you have some, I thought I had some in here. If you have some peppermint, you can use that. Yeah, I like parks though. I will go to a park. I just don't want to be out there. And I got to figure my way out. Girl, don't let me pull out my fan, Nia. So I made a lavender oil. What did I have? I think I made use a refined coconut oil. I think that's what it was. And then I soaked the lavender in there for about 6 to 8 weeks and made my, it's so slippery, and made my own. There we go. Bought the little roller and printed lavender on there. But baby, every now and then I got to do this number and smell my lavender because it's so relaxing. That's one of my favorites. Yes, peppermint helps focus. That's why a couple of my teas, I have mental clarity. It has peppermint leaves in it because it helps with the focus. Lavender incense, I don't have any, but I know they smell good. I love going to the herb shop and buying my herbs, and I always open the lavender. It just instant calm for me. Instant calm. Okay? So all of these things that we just talked about as far as aromatherapy, those smells directly connect to the brain's emotional center, right? The amygdala. And it helps us to, that's the part that helps process fear and anxiety and everything. But when we smell those particular smells, it connects to that part of our brain and helps us to calm down. So definitely try. I'll list them again in case you want to know. There are many others, but I listed some in my notes. So lavender, y'all know that's my favorite. Chamomile, bergamot, lemon balm, and peppermint for focus. All right. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to have to type this thing because y'all ain't helping me. I want y'all to tap that screen so this doesn't time me out or whatever it was trying to do. You said chamomile for you? Yeah. Yeah. I like chamomile a little bit, but I prefer lavender. Because to me, chamomile, just for me, chamomile is like a baby aspirin when I have a migraine headache. Sometimes my anxiety or my stress level's up here, and that chamomile is not going to do it for me. Yeah, you talking about when you drink it, yeah. Magnesium, Oh, honey, a nice massage. Yes, Lord. Or just a nice hot shower with the lavender, the essential oils, or the any kind of aromatherapy going while I'm in the shower, and the right music. Baby, I am good. So you have to try these things. And see, sometimes we think taking care of ourselves, that type of self-care, requires so much when it really doesn't. You're going to take a shower anyway. So why don't you make it something nice? Why don't you bring in the aromatherapy? Why don't you bring in some soothing music? You're doing it all at the same time. Oh, and I know jasmine smells good. Jayla, yes. I have this jasmine tea that I bought from somewhere. Oh, just the smell of it is calming. All right. So we talked about, what was that? Okay, the aromatherapy. Now, some self-compassion practice. Epsom salt with some lavender oil, absolutely. And if you can, if it's feasible for you, try to do a spa membership where you pay monthly and you go. You know, it's coming out. You can just go. That will be your self-care thing for you. You pay monthly, you go and you do your hour. At this point in my life, I have to have 2 hours. Don't give me no 1 hour because you ain't got to the spot yet. So do something like that. Or you said Envy. I have Heights, massage Heights now. And yeah, I've been doing them for some years, but don't be laughing at me, Lisa. Don't give me no 1 hour though, for real. You ain't even hit it yet. I need that. Another thing, just mentioned, it's not in my notes, that may help with anxiety, especially when you're feeling a lot of body tension, is I haven't done it, but let me know in the chat if you have the float. What you call it? The float therapy. I don't know if it's another name for that. If anybody has tried that, put it in the chat and let us know. I used to see it a lot, but I don't see it so much anymore. But when you have that body tension and a lot of anxiety, or mostly the anxiety is in your body, the tension, that float therapy where you just lay there, I heard it really helps. Now, if your anxiety is really, really high, I don't know how that will work for you, because it might increase your anxiety, because I think they dim the place. You're kind of floating. You're not actually in the water, but you're in this device, I believe. Oh, treat your feet. Yes, indeed. I love treat your feet. For a good old massage, baby. And they do treat your feet. Hey, Trees. If anybody has used that float therapy thing that I'm talking about, please let me know, because I've seen it. I haven't done it. A head massage. I was just looking for one in my area, and I will be scheduling because I watched all of their videos that they ever posted, I believe. I went down the hole. No, we didn't talk about claustrophobia. Who's that? Summers, Ocean Summers. That might require a bit of exposure safely. So you would definitely want to work with a therapist, someone who's trained, and it may require some exposure, some safe exposure therapy. Okay. So self-compassion practice. Let me run through the rest of this. So practicing replacing that self-criticism. Replace that self-criticism with some kindness, especially when you're having anxiety. Because like I said before, half of the stuff we say to ourselves, we wouldn't say to a friend or somebody we love. So practice some kindness towards yourself. Notice when you're being hard on yourself. Ask yourself, what would I tell a friend in this situation? Because well, it kind of depends on who the friend is. But most times you're going to be nice, right? You're going to try to give them some encouraging and inspiring words. So do that for you. You need that. All right? That was one. The next one, worry time. So we got one called the worry time technique. Set aside a specific daily time, or maybe it's weekly. I don't know, however you need to do it, but a daily time where you just focus on your worries. So that way you're not doing this all day long, every day. So, because anxiety will hijack your whole day. So you want to set aside a time. I'm going to take the next 30 minutes, maybe from 6 to 6:30, and I'll worry. That's my worry time. Yes, you can replace that criticism with affirmations. Just something encouraging. Schedule your worry time. Don't let the anxiety or that stress hijack your entire day. Schedule that time. If worry pops up before 6, okay, let it pop up, but tell yourself, I don't deal with that till 6 o'clock. Yeah, I understood. Yeah, that bothered me, but I don't deal with it until 6 o'clock. And you have to be consistent with it. You don't worry outside of the time you already scheduled to worry. And it sounds kind of cheesy for some people, like, well, I ain't gonna be able to do that. You will if you practice it. If you practice, you'll be able to do it. Just like everything else that's on your schedule, it doesn't get done till it's time to be done. Okay. That's beautiful, MJ. MJ visualized herself as a child and do whatever is coming to her. Come on, inner child work. Yes. Yes, the worry time, scheduling your worry time is very good. Because that way you can go on about your day. Especially if you're already at work and you have to focus there, but then you're thinking about some home stuff that needs to be done or a bill or what. Okay, I'll worry about that at 6 o'clock. But right now, who's next? Work. Do your work. And worry about that later. You know what I'm saying? Schedule that time. That's not dismissing it and saying it's not important, but you have other things to get done and it doesn't hijack your day when you schedule it. Okay? And then use anchoring statements. Have you some go-to mantras or affirmations that you can tell yourself. Repeat these calming and these empowering statements so that you can ground yourself in during anxiety. Absolutely. Only what you can control. And that's what I tell a lot of my clients, like, control your controllables. Of all these things you sit here worried about, what do you have control over? Of all this, now tell me what you have control over. Then we'll go through that, find out okay, so those are the ones we're going to focus on. Because all of them we can't deal with. Because some of that stuff is out of your control. Oh yeah, use ChatGPT. It's not a replacement for therapy, but you can get some good stuff. But find you some anchoring statements that you can tell yourself. Have some go-to phrases. I wrote down some examples. And if you want to write these down, fine, but they're very common. But one is, I am safe right now. That's one that I try to instill in people when they are experiencing a panic attack. I am safe right now. I know it doesn't feel like it, but just reminding yourself, I am safe right now. I'm safe. Okay. This feeling will pass. That's your big one, Turtle. This feeling will pass. I like this one because sometimes when we're in the thing, it feels like there's no way out. But if you examine your life, there have been moments where it felt like that before, and then now you're on the other side of it. Right? So this feeling will pass. My mom used to say, seasons change. Right? Or if you're Christian and you read the Bible, what they tell us in church, this too shall pass. Okay? So this feeling will pass. Another one, I've handled this before. I can handle it now. Hey, Tiffany, welcome. I've handled this before. I can handle it now. That's another good one. Because you have not made it this far not being able to handle something. You've handled it before. It's just every time it shows up, it feels like the worst ever. Or it sometimes feels like there's no escape. You don't know how to get out of this one. But you've handled something like this before. Remind yourself. You've done it before. You can do it again. This won't be the one that's going to take you out. Okay? And then another good one that is common, you all probably have heard. Hey, thank you. One step at a time. I'm just going to do this one thing right in front of me. There's a whole lot of things that I need to get done, but I'm going to do this one thing that's right in front of me. Yes, Nikki, everything is working for my good. Hey, Alexandra. And you know, it's one going around. Thank you all for the gifts. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. There's a sound going around a lot now on TikTok. I know y'all heard it, where everything is working out for me. Everything is working out for me. I love saying that, baby. I'll be walking around. Everything is working out for me. Over here fixing my teeth. It just gets in my head and I'm going. Everything is working out for me. That's a good one. That's a good one. So have your go-tos. Put it in your notes. Put it in your notes. Have your journal or your notes on your phone, something you can access and you can get to when you're feeling this way. You know, have your plan. Go get your toolkit when you're starting to feel this. All right? So what this does as far as repeating these mantras or having these go-to phrases, what it does is reinforces that rational thinking. It gets you out of the amygdala and out of that emotion brain and puts you more in the prefrontal, right? It gets you to think rationally. It activates our PFC. Okay? Is that my last one? Hold on. I got a couple more. I know we're at 7 o'clock, but I do have a couple more. Hey, Crafty. I do have a couple more because I want to give you all of these things so you can put them in your toolkit and you can create your anxiety coping skills toolkit, your plan. So my next one would be and we talked about this one before, limiting caffeine, limiting sugar, activate that PFC, absolutely, girl. But limiting stimulants is what we want to do. That's the next one. So reduce your intake of food or drinks that mimic anxiety symptoms. So the caffeine, the sugar, you want to bring those down. Swap your coffee out for some herbal tea. You know, that lemon balm, the hibiscus. This is actually a hibiscus. But lemon balm, lavender, chamomile. Swap it out when you can. And don't be so sits down coffee. Listen, I'm not finna play with you and act like I'm just this tea girl. I'm entering my tea era, yes. But I was always a coffee girl. I'm not going to lie to you. And I try to come off and then I have the worst headache all day long. But I'm making my way there. And Coke, baby, a good old Coca-Cola. Really cold? Yes, indeed. But I'm trying. So I'm not telling you something that I've just mastered. Look, we all are on the journey. And I'm telling you some things that will work, but we got to work it together. Oh, baby, I love frappe. I love me a good frappe. Listen, Yeah, I'm a coffee girl, but I'm trying. I'm doing my teas. Not been consistent, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But in the morning time, and you know the thing about it is, oh y'all interact because it's about to start. It's about to start acting up. Hold on, let me see if I can move it. Oh gosh, let me try to move this over. Boop. Okay, now we back. All right, I'm gonna need those hearts, and I'm gonna need y'all chatting and doing all the things because it. I guess right when I get to an hour, it starts to wonder: are we still working? Are we still engaging? So I need to see the engagement, y'all, or they need the TikTok needs to see it. Let's try to get to like 20K hearts if we can. Let's work on it. Maybe they won't flag us. What was I saying? So, in the morning about the coffee thing. So I think it's more out of just repetition. It's just routine at this point because sometimes it doesn't necessarily keep me alert. I like the smell, and that's part of my morning thing. So it's not even so much that it's perking me up. Maybe sometimes, but not every time, because sometimes I can drink that and go right on to sleep. So I think it's just routine. But if we start to change our routine a little bit and replace some of those stimulants, that'll help too. Because we know all that sugar, all of the caffeine, it increases our heart rate. We can have that jitterness and the restlessness, the jitters and the restlessness, and we don't want that. That's not good for our anxiety. My next one was connection and support. So again, emotional connection, emotional support, connecting with somebody you love and trust, and talking with them, where you can get your validation. You know what I'm saying? We need that. We need to be able to share what you're feeling with somebody that you trust. You can join support groups. You can go to therapy, have talk therapy. That's a different type of relationship, but it's a therapeutic relationship, not your homegirl or your homeboy, but it's good for you to be able to have somebody you can trust and talk to. Also, engaging in activities, getting out of the house, finding groups that you can participate in. All of that, connecting, it helps to lower our anxiety, and it releases, if I can't talk anymore, oxytocin. That calming, that bonding hormone, it releases that when we connect with people. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk to you, I'm going to make it the last thing because we're at 7 o'clock. The last thing I wanted to talk a little bit more about was creating boundaries, because this can be our anxiety shield, right? Creating those boundaries. You have to protect your energy. Now, we used to see that a whole lot, and sometimes we still do. You got to protect your energy. We want to kind of chill out on that whole I want to match your energy type of thing, because no. I thought it was cute at first. I used to say, okay, what kind of time we on? What you on? Because I'm going to be on that too. But then I realized I'm giving you too much power. I want to protect my energy. So if you over here acting foolish, I don't want to match that. Exactly. I'm not trying to match that. So protect your energy. You protect it from the stress, protect it from the overload, protect it from the burnout. We're not matching energy. We're not. It was cute. I said it a couple of times too, but I was like, wait. That don't make no sense. You gonna act a fool and you want me to act a fool and somebody pass by, I don't know which one the fool because we both doing the same thing. I reserve. I'm gonna fall back. I'm gonna protect my energy. That's right. So that's what we want to do. We want to protect our energy. And how do we do that? We set up boundaries. We have to set up boundaries. You have to have like time boundaries, social boundaries, emotional boundaries. We have to set up. A lot of people have a hard time setting boundaries, and we feel guilty about setting boundaries. But let me grow you up real fast. Don't feel guilty about setting your boundaries, because guess what? Won't nobody else feel guilty for telling you no. You got to learn how to say no. Okay? Practice it. Find something simple you can say no to. Find something simple. Tell them no. I'm not going to be able to. And don't do the no with a whole explanation. No is a complete sentence. No. That's it. End of story. You going to pick me up from the airport? No. And it's not that you're being mean, but listen, you might have a whole lot of things going on in your day and you really can't. Now you're going to stress yourself out because you feel obligated to do this thing, or you have thoughts, well, they're going to think I'm not reliable, or they're going to think I'm not dependable, and you feel obligated to go and do something that you genuinely do not have time to do. Set your boundaries. Okay, it's important that we do that. We can reduce the anxiety. Now in the beginning, it's going to feel weird because you're not used to doing it, but you have to do it. You have to do it because you got to take care of yourself. So time boundaries. Let's say I don't respond to work messages after 7. Like that could be one of your time boundaries. Or you figure out what works for you. One of your social boundaries. I need to leave events early when I feel overwhelmed. Don't stay in a situation when you're starting to feel super overwhelmed. Just excuse yourself. You know, you can leave. You don't have to stay and suffer. Emotional boundaries. Here's what I have for that. It's okay to say no without over explaining. Remember that. It is okay to say no without over explaining. Your no is a complete sentence. And don't get me wrong. I was one of those people, what do you call it? A people pleaser? Big on that. But I understand that is also a trauma response from childhood. We talked about the other F's, the fight, flight, or freeze. We didn't really talk about fawning. Fawning is another trauma response where, and I may have talked about this before, where you're in a situation and you don't want to really rock the boat. You want everything to be okay. So you make everything okay. And you always make sure everybody's good. No matter what you feel or what you think, you fawn because you want everything to be okay. And you learn how to do that when you were a child because you didn't know what kind of situation you were going to walk into at home, or if mom was going to be upset, if dad was going to be upset. You just wanted everything to be cool, right? So you learn how to fawn. And then you carry that on into your relationships. So whoever you were with was doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and you barely spoke up because you didn't want to rock the boat. You were fawning because I don't know what I'm going to walk into, so I'm either not going to go there, I'm not going to do this, whatever, right? Set them boundaries. Break that response. Okay? You remember that, Turtle? I was talking about that? Okay. So, again, setting boundaries without guilt. Be direct. This is how you set boundaries without guilt. You be direct. You tell them, for example, I'm not available right now, but let's reconnect later. That's an easy one. Or you start small. Set one boundary and stick to it. So for you, set one boundary this week and stick to it. Just start small. And understand that boundaries aren't being rude to other people. It's about respecting yourself, though. So you can create this boundary without being rude, but also by respecting yourself. You know you're worn out. You know you're tired. Set up that boundary. Stop doing things you know you don't want to do. All right, let me see. We're 7:10, so we made it over an hour. I think that is it. I have one thing, and I'm going to share this with you all, not on screen. I'm going to pull it up because I wanted to give you, let me open it up real quick, an anxiety toolkit and tracker. So it's like a little 3-sheet worksheet that I created to help you to build your personal anxiety toolkit. So all of the things we talked about tonight, if you are interested in getting this, it's a Word document, but if you're interested in this document, DM me your email address, whatever email address you want me to send it to, and I will email this to you. And you can use this to create your personal anxiety toolkit. Okay, so it has, again, those activities that we talked about, the breathing, grounding, the movement base. It has all of those. You would just check off what you're willing to try, which ones you're going to put in your toolkit. And then it has a 7-day tracker. So you decide when you want to start it, and you track which ones you've used, what your mood has been, and any notes that you have. You can write that this is all for yourself, but I want you to be consistent and try to track this, okay? So again, if you're interested, and it has some questions at the end. If you're interested in it, make sure you are already following me. You DM me your email address, and I will definitely email it to you. And I wonder if she's here. Whoever asked me, was it Nia? You asked me, did I send you that last worksheet? I told you I did. Miss Nia, I think that was you. Just give me a thumbs up in the chat, Miss Nia, if that was you. Okay, so other question, because I'm trying to clarify. Did you get it or not? Because I want to make sure I send it again if you didn't. But I would already have your email address. Okay. Oh, okay. That's right. That's right. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So, and if you want this other one, again, just DM me and just say, I already have your email address. If you sent it before, just say, hey, send me the tracker, the toolkit, and I'll send that to you. Okay. Oh, like Leisha, yes. Okay. DM me your email address. Leisha. DM me your email address and I will send it. Oh, excuse me, miss. You know, I already sent it. Okay, so yeah, I will send this out to whoever sends me your email. It'll come from Candace at yourwayout.llc.com. So it'll come from that email address, and I'll send it between tonight and tomorrow when I get your emails. All right? I think that's it. Oh, we made it over 20 likes. Okay, good job, good job. Thank you, Jayla. But that is it. That is all that I have for you all tonight. I hope that was good. I just want to take a minute to say thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate the engagement. I appreciate you showing up every time. And this isn't, again, like I said in my video, it's not for me, it's for you. So I'm really hoping and hopeful that you are getting something out of this. You learn a little bit more about anxiety, more about your own experience with it. If you are anxious or not, because sometimes it's stress and sometimes it's worry. It may not be anxiety, but that's okay. But I really appreciate you all for showing up. You just don't understand. I really do appreciate that. Who's that? Okay, well, you got me now. You got me now. All right, guys. Y'all go and have a peaceful night. Drink you some tea. Turn on some music, light that incense, and chill out. All right? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Thank you, J-Lo.